Hey everyone, and welcome to Theories and Thrones. And today we're talking all about episode 4 of Game of Thrones' final season, The Last of the Starks. I'm Leanne Aguilera from Entertainment Tonight.
And I'm Mike Rougeau from GameSpot. We are excited to start hearing all of your thoughts about last night's episode because we have a lot to discuss.
We have so much to discuss, but as always, before we get started, this is an after show, so you shouldn't be here until you've watched the episode because we're getting into spoilers.
All the spoilers.
So many spoilers. Now, we're going to be discussing the two big deaths of the night, the romantic roller coaster ride of Jaime and Brienne, Jon and Dany's not-so-secret, and so much more. So start sending us your questions, comments, and theories because we're dying to know your thoughts. You know, we asked ET's fans on Twitter what you all thought of the episode, and it was pretty split.
Yeah, 45% of people who responded said you loved this episode, while 55% said it was not your favorite.
Not your favorite. Well, what did you guys think? Tell me. And Mike, I've got to know, what are your quick thoughts about the episode?
I'm torn on this one.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
As like last week, there were some tense scenes, and I appreciate a lot of the things that they're trying to do on multiple levels. There's a lot going on. I do have some complaints as well. What about you?
Sorry, I just realized, Mike, your coffee cup has been in the shot this entire time.
Oh, God.
How could you do that?
This is embarrassing.
Like the fact that, yes, you guys, apparently Starbucks has come to Winterfell because we got our very own cup in last night's episode.
My God.
Let's take a look at that moment. Because I loved the fact that there we are at the Feast of Winterfell. Everyone's having a really good time. And then Tormund goes over. And in the back, you see that Dany has a Starbucks cup. Right
it's
there.
on the table in front of her.
It's on the table right there
really
in front of her.
It's really hard to miss once you see it.
I'm one of the people that finds continuity errors really hilarious because it makes me feel way better about all of my mistakes at work.
we're
I'm
all
a
human.
fan of this one. I just think it's hilarious that they were working on this for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. I think people are seeing it sort of as a tiny microcosm of the general kind of decline in attention to detail for the show, which I don't know. You can look at it that way. I don't know if that's fair.
I don't know if that's fair.
We're
I
all
think
human
that,
and we make mistakes.
I mean, look, they're creating dragons out of thin air. So if Dany's going to have a pumpkin spice latte, I'm okay with it.
We got to stay caffeinated. I relate.
Yeah, but you know what? I really did enjoy this episode so much more than the Battle of Winterfell, especially because we finally had some impactful deaths, which leads us to the biggest question of every Game of Thrones episode. Who died? Who died? First up, Rhaegal died.
Rhaegal died.
Rhaegal died.
That's Jon's dragon, and he is done. That's it. So,
I love that you called it Jon's dragon.
It's Jon's
really
dragon.
His dragon
That
now.
is Jon. That is Jon's. It's named after his dad.
Okay.
It's the one that he rode.
Yes.
And if you were like me, looking forward to the end game of this series for years and years and years, the theory always was that would be Jon's dragon.
So the fact that they took him out with 3 quick shots.
I can't, can we complain about that scene for a second? Because I have so many...
Okay, so before you complain about it, I've got to say, I did not see it coming.
Oh, yeah.
I feel a little robbed that it happened so quickly. However, because it was so fast, it broke my heart so quickly that I hate to say that I enjoyed it, but I didn't see it coming, and I respect that.
It was shocking.
It was shocking. Look
it was
at
surprising.
That. I was not, but...
My problem with this scene is partially the way that it's shot, where with the camera looking up at the sky, we can't tell...
Who's shooting at them and where these people are.
When did these ships come into view?
Yes.
And how did she not see them?
She's flying above everyone else. I think that, at the beginning of that scene, she was flying, she was excited, she's like, I'm on my babies.
She's distracted.
And then right here is where we start to see that they go around this giant mountain, and that's where everyone was hiding.
Well, the way that it's shot, it feels like
they were hiding.
It feels like the ships shot Rhaegal before they could possibly have a view. Because if they have line of sight on the dragons should have line of sight on them.
Exactly.
And that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I can't believe that nobody anticipated this attack. This show gets the geography of Westeros wrong so often, but one thing they get right is that Dragonstone and King's Landing are a stone's throw away from each other.
Yes.
They share, that bay on the east coast of Westeros. So the fact that nobody thought that there might be an ambush there in the post episode featurette, David and Dan essentially say, Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. What? Dany forgot about the Iron Fleet and Varys and Tyrion and Jon and everybody else forgot about the Iron Fleet. Yeah. That's bad. That's bad writing.
I will stick with that. I'm sad that it happened, but I'm surprised that it happened. But I do think that the more I think about it, I'm like, how did that happen?
I'm okay that it happened. I don't like the way that it happened.
Yeah, fair. Let's talk about our next big death. Missandei.
Yes.
Missandei. R.I.P. Missandei.
How do you feel about this?
I am excited that we have. This sounds really awful. I'm excited that we have an impactful death that is going to propel Dany and a lot of our characters forward.
Did that feel more impactful to you than Theon and Jorah and all these other deaths?
It did feel more. Well, I think it's because in the Battle of Winterfell, we were braced. We all were like, this is going to be the episode. We're going to lose so many people. And it wasn't until the very end that we were like, Jorah, okay, we can lose Jorah. Theon, okay, we can lose Theon. And then we were like, that's it?
Yeah.
And it didn't have any of that impactful moment of like, let's say we lost Sam.
This is going to change something in the story.
This is going to spark something in Dany. And then this is also, I think, going to be the catalyst to getting the audience back behind her. Because we can discuss this more in a little bit. But I'm one of the people that, like, I've been rooting for Dany. I've been on this journey with her for 7 seasons. As a girl, it's been fun to see her like really step up and be like, I'm taking back what's rightfully mine, what's my birthright.
As a guy, it's been fun to see her. I've always rooted for Dany.
Exactly. But there's been this weird shift in the past season and a half where I'm not supposed to root for Dany, and it feels like they're changing her.
It doesn't feel earned to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. My question about this, we're seeing this scene now. My question about this scene, Cersei grabs Missandei's arm.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Says, do you have any last words? Right? Missandei knows she's going to die, and Missandei is a badass.
Yes.
I think we have seen in the show before. Why does Missandei not grab Cersei back and plunge over the edge?
Because, she clearly wasn't changed. She falls down right there.
To me, like, all these characters are not acting. They're acting as if they are characters in service to a plot, and they're not acting true to the characters themselves. Like in this scene, again, I want to ask you guys a question because I cannot figure this out, and I am dying for somebody to give me an explanation that I can get behind. Why did Cersei not just kill them all right there? We saw in the previous scene that the range of the scorpions is ridiculous. Yeah. There were like 40 of them up on the wall. There were the archers
all lined up,
And they're all, why would Cersei let Tyrion and Dany and the last dragon walk away from that encounter? I cannot think of a reason why Cersei would let them go.
We're starting to get in so many great fan comments right now. Randon said, hopefully Missandei's savage death shows that complainers don't know everything. If you killed Grey Worm last episode, you don't have the same powerful stakes / motivation to raise the city. And I think that's a really great point. I was really confused last week as to why Grey Worm survived that episode, and it was so that we could see Missandei die and have that really fuel him and lead what's left of the Unsullied to charge forth into the city.
Yeah, it made this moment better.
Exactly. So many other people. Oh, Debelina Saha says Dracarys. Let's talk about the fact that that was her final word.
It was good. Did you see the actress?
Yes. She tweeted out Dracarys, and then she goes, AKA, burn the bish. Burn the bish.
It was so good. It was I'm a fan of that actress.
Yes.
And her tone is great.
I thought it was really great.
Burn the bish.
I think it's now, let's keep the conversation going with the other big moments of the episode with OMG GOT. First up, we've got to talk about my personal favorite storyline arc of the episode. I'm sorry, I'm such a big Arya stan, but you know what? Arya Stark is not your lady, baby.
She's not your lady. She never has been.
Your lady.
Gendry vastly misjudged this moment. I think Arya was using you for your hot blacksmith body. And does not need this in her life.
Using you is so strong.
She wanted to get laid before the battle.
She liked him. She had a crush on him. But the fact that he went up to her and was like, I think you're beautiful. I don't know how to be a lord. Be my lady. Like, I care about you so much. Of course I knew she was not going to accept the proposal.
I was a little bit worried when he did it and she leaned down and kissed him. I was literally sitting on my couch going, no.
Bring him standing back up to end the proposal. And I loved that. I thought it was a really great way to let him down gently.
That was like chef kiss perfect.
Exactly.
I loved it so much.
But so obviously Arya is not going to be the Lady of Storm's End.
Right. And
she has unfinished business.
Right. She and Sandor are heading south.
They're heading south.
We all all know where they're going.
I loved, as soon as we see him leaving and he looks up and he sees her, and I'm just like, yes, we have our Arya and Hound reunion. Their interactions to me are so wonderful. I feel like he really treats her as his equal now.
Yeah, and their storyline back in season 4, season 3, season 4, whatever. I mean, it's a fan favorite, and so in a way, this was a fan servicey moment.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was one that was earned, and also one that actually works for the characters, works for going forward, what they're going to do. You know, she has 2 names left on her list. He has 1, and there's some overlap there. So if they team up,
there is some overlap there.
I never thought about Arya and the Hound teaming up for a Clegane Bowl, but I am here for it.
Movie Night said, Gendry with a heart. Gendry is no more.
Yeah, you still ship that?
Which I still ship that. I know that it'll never happen, until she crosses her last name off her list. But if she one day, like, he wouldn't make her wear a dress. Like,
sure,
he loves her.
I feel like specifically the word choice of lady was his problem. I'm now picturing Gendry like sadly walking down to Storm's End and just kind of the castle's empty. He goes inside. Did anyone home? And he's just there alone forever.
Donna says, I don't know why Arya left Winterfell after her speech about family with Jon. We're going to be getting to that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But next up, let's talk about Brienne and Jaime's roller coaster romance. The fact that
there were some ups and downs here.
They had a lot of ups and downs. Let's start off with the fact that once Dany announced that Gendry was going to be the Lord of Storm's End and really kind of gave him his title, the night turned into a big party. Brienne got drunk, which we've never seen before.
I mean, that drinking game was fun.
I really enjoyed it, and I liked that it was a through line that we've seen throughout it. But then it led to this pivotal moment of Jaime acknowledging his feelings for Brienne or giving her a gift.
How did you feel about this? What did you think?
I think that it was so sweet, and I think that this is something that Brienne, I don't want to say deserves, but seeing her get to be with Jaime, this man that she has loved for such a long time, and getting her to have this moment was so wonderful. But what worries me is that he might not feel the same about her, and that's clear once he decided that he needed to leave and go back to King's Landing.
To me, this was the wrong kind of fan service.
Yeah.
To me, it felt a little bit gratuitous, but only because in episode 2, when he knighted her, was such a perfect moment.
It was so perfect. I almost wanted that to be their special moment.
That to me was the perfect culmination of their character arcs, intersecting for what should have been the final time, and it wasn't in the way that so many fans had hoped.
Yes.
It was surprising, but it worked on a thematic and on a character level, and I wish they had just left it at that.
I saw a lot of tweets last night who were upset when Brienne was crying when Jaime left. And if we take a look at that scene, Brienne is obviously very upset that Jaime is choosing to leave her because he was going to be staying in Winterfell for her. She thought that she had found her to be a fairy tale happily ever after. But when he says that he's drawn to Cersei, either in a he's going to kill her kind of way.
Right, yeah, we should talk about that.
Or in the fact that he's just as bad as her. But a lot of the fans were saying they were really upset to see her crying, saying that Brienne should be a strong woman. She doesn't need a man. Like, why are we watching her cry? And I think, why not watch her cry?
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't think that's a good criticism.
I don't think that's a good criticism at all. You can be a strong woman, but you can still feel your feelings.
She's a strong character, but like she's also a complex character.
Exactly.
She has so many dimensions and layers, and to see her finally break down because she thinks that they've won.
She's found this love.
She's gotten what she, not just what she wanted, but something she thought she would never have. Jinx.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Everyone's heartbroken in the comments right now, though, so we feel your pain. You know what really made my heart break last night? And let's talk about it. The fact that Jon Snow is the worst pet owner in the realm. Jon
Snow should not be allowed to adopt any more dogs.
No, not at all. Let's talk about the fact that he has been with Ghost since Ghost was a little pup. And the fact that I appreciate the fact that Tormund is like, I'm taking the free folk and I'm getting the hell out of here. My battle's done. Thank you so much.
That made sense.
That totally made sense. But the fact that Jon was like, by the way, take my dog.
Could you take my dog? Because like I don't really feel, I have a dragon now and I don't really feel like watching him anymore.
The fact that, first of all, I was so thrilled to see that Ghost survived the Battle of Winterfell. He's missing an ear. He's clearly just looking for some love. He got hurt.
He's a good boy, and I've seen this sentiment a lot, which is that Ghost is a good boy.
Yeah.
And that he deserved some pets and scritches and boops and smooches.
Why couldn't he stay with Sansa? I know that he'll get love with Tormund, but look, and then he says goodbye. Ghost wants to go look over it towards him. And
what does that face say to you? That face says to you, I don't care about this.
I understand that it took a lot of the CGI budget to kill Rhaegal. I get it.
It just came back to my face like, ugh, like so hateful.
I am so upset that is how we left Ghost. That the fact that Jon is not going to take ownership, is not going to even be like, stay with Sansa. Let me be like, you've been such a good boy. You've saved my life so many times. I'm sorry. I'm upset, and so is Axe. AKS says, I will never understand how Jon is so disrespectful towards Ghosty. My heart broke for Ghost the way he looked so upset.
In my head, I need to keep the book canon straight, and the book canon is that Jon loves Ghost, and he is always by his side, except when he physically can't be because they're separated by the wall when he's with the wildlings or whatever, various points. But at all times when it's possible, Ghost is by his side, because to me this is a symptom of David and Dan, the showrunners, the writers of this episode and many episodes before, just not understanding the symbolism and what the direwolves represent. Time and time again, they've killed the direwolves. He just sends him away without even
I needed him to talk to him. I needed him to. I'm sorry. I'm very upset.
Me
Let's
too.
move on.
It's symbolic of Jon leaving his Stark identity behind once and for all. I appreciate the symbolism, but the fact that the show did not give more weight to that moment indicates to me that they don't.
Which leads us into the worst kept secret in Westeros. The fact that Jon and Dany are related. Jon finally decides to tell his sisters, or his cousins, that...
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jon decides to let Sansa and Arya in on the secret, but my big issue with this scene is, once again, I understand that it would take up time for us to rehash this information that we know, but the fact that Jon just looks at Bran and he's like, tell him.
And we didn't get to see that?
And we didn't get to see
that.
that.
To me, that was such a huge just slap in my face. Like, I have been waiting to see Arya react to learning about Jon's true identity. Arya and Jon have a special bond.
Yes.
It's present in the show. They were the outsiders of the family for various reasons. They always identified most closely with one another. And Arya's whole thing in this scene is about family. And the fact that we did not get to see the way that she reacts to learning this news is a crime. It's a travesty.
And it's one of those things where a lot of fan support for this season it's been so great to see these conversations between characters, because it's paid off, because we know their relationship so well and we know their dynamic.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were robbed of that was really upsetting to me.
It's so crazy. And this episode is, I think, 78 minutes long.
Yeah.
Make it 78 and a half minutes long and show me the rest of that conversation.
Let me see that. And I love the fact that Sansa... So Jon goes, swear that you will not tell anyone. And Sansa's like, I totally swear, crossing my fingers. And then she's like, psst, Tyrion.
Immediately. And
Tyrion.
This makes sense for Sansa because, as many people have pointed out,
she's very calculated. She knows what she's doing.
She is the student of Littlefinger and Cersei and watching these people who are manipulative.
Yeah.
And so the first thing she does is starts manipulating people.
Skylar says Sansa is up to something. I think the fact that Sansa is just looking out for her family and doesn't trust Dany, I feel like that is fine with me.
Yeah, we disagree on this because for me, their whole thing in the earlier episodes this season was that Dany needed to do something that would prove to the Northerners that she is worthy of their support.
Yes.
And she did. She sacrificed half of her forces, at least. I mean, it looked like all the Dothraki died. Apparently they didn't. Anyway, she sacrificed half of her forces to defend their home, and Sansa is still unbelievably cold to her, and it feels like I appreciate the direction that it's going. I feel like the writing this season has not earned this. I feel like it's not justified for Sansa to be so dismissive of her still.
I liked the fact that Sansa is still distrustful of Dany because it led to Sansa telling Tyrion the secret. We then saw that Tyrion then told Varys.
Right.
And we can see in that scene that, the cracks are starting to form within Dany's small council. It's getting smaller and smaller now that Jorah and Missandei are gone. She's really left with Tyrion, who, you and I have talked about this, thinks that Jon and Dany should just get married, everything's fine, and Varys is like, that's not going to happen.
Too.
Of course we all want that to happen, but Varys is being, he's looking out for the good of the realm, the good of the realm.
I object because it's not that I want that to happen.
Okay.
It's that I think that it's the most logical thing to happen. To me, it makes the most sense because it's the easiest, it's the smartest. Dany ditched Daario and Meereen so that she could come to Westeros and have a strong marriage alliance.
Yeah.
There is no stronger marriage alliance than Jon, who is half Targaryen, half Stark, has the full support of the North. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
And the smartest thing is to unite and form a new Targaryen dynasty. And to me, Tyrion brings it up, and Varys dismisses it out of hand. He says, oh, that wouldn't work, and then they quickly move on. And I appreciate the conflict this is building toward, but I feel like the writing isn't there to support why they can't just do it, the most obvious way.
Yeah, we're starting to creep into theories territory. So let's fully dive into your questions, comments, and theories, because you guys have been blowing up our comment section right now, and I love seeing all of you guys. Lucia says, I wanted to break my TV when they didn't show Sansa and Arya's response to the truth about Jon. Well, Lucia, you might need to break your TV, because according to the cinematographer for last week's episode, it was your fault that your TV was not good enough to see the episode, which I still am a little bitter on, the fact that it was dark, and they're saying that's your own fault.
So maybe it's our fault that we didn't get to see that conversation.
Yeah,
too.
maybe.
Movie Night says, where is Nymeria and her pack? This is a really good question.
I wanted to see Ghost go off with Nymeria. I was hoping that he would get hurt, and then not hurt in the battle, but he did, and I was hoping that they would.
And it would be with Jon and Arya, I guess growing apart for their wolves
dogs
to get together, I think would be some nice symbolism.
But Erica Kraling says, Tormund, dog sitter extraordinaire. I mean, Tormund, you didn't get the girl, but you got the dog.
Yeah, sometimes that's, sometimes that's better.
Sometimes that's way better. Let's be real.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Now that Rhaegal and Missandei are dead, is Dany going to go full Mad Queen? This is one of the big sources of speculation going forward.
Is Dany going to go Mad Queen? I am okay with it.
Yeah, so you think she is?
I think that she's about to get a little unhinged. I feel like it's rightfully earned now.
No, so we're in full agreement on this.
We're in agreement
I think she is going full Mad Queen, and I support that.
They've been dropping the little hints, obviously, when she burned up Samwell Tarly's father and brother. We got that little hint of it. We've seen more of the fact that, Sansa called out Tyrion as you're terrified of her. And he, of course, tries to gloss it over and be like, every good rulers
inspire fear. I think he has a point. I think that maybe this is not popular, but Dany burning, the Tarlys, I was totally chill with. They were being dumb. Bend the knee.
Yeah.
She has a dragon.
Bend the knee.
You don't need to be executed right now.
Yeah.
They did not give her a choice. And so I think that all of these decisions that she has made are justified. And I think for Varys to turn on her the first time she makes a decision that he doesn't agree with is so not in keeping with Varys' character. It's another thing that they haven't earned, in my opinion.
I do think it is keeping with his character. Varys is the spider. He said to her face, I will be the first person to tell you when I don't like what you're doing. He has betrayed how many kings now?
Yeah, so I guess that's true.
I do think that this is within Varys' character. I think that I don't agree with his interest of looking out for the realm, but I do think that he's the first person to be like, hi, Jon would be a better ruler. And truthfully, at this point, I don't agree because Jon is driving me nuts, but...
Yeah. To me, I don't know when I was supposed to stop rooting for Dany to show up and burn her enemies to the ground. I have been waiting for this. The anger that has been bubbling towards Cersei over the seasons as she continues to just be horrible over and over. I want Dany... I want fire and blood. That's what I want.
Ale agrees, says burn them all with a bunch of fire emojis.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, Tyrion's main concern was let's protect the people of the keep. They are going to be your loyal subjects. Let's try and spare their lives. But now with this happening, it's clear that Cersei doesn't care about the people, and maybe now Dany doesn't care about the people either. What are your thoughts on that and the fact that literally burn them all?
I mean, I think that Cersei blew up a huge chunk of her city already.
Yeah.
And so if we have to burn, if it's a war, right?
Yeah.
There's casualties, and I think that it is worth it to wrest control away from Cersei. I think that Varys and Sansa, everybody's scheming and plotting right now. Jon versus Dany. This is a conflict that they are creating within their own ranks. They are self-sabotaging at the 11th hour when they should be unified. And it's just, I think they should be smarter than this. I think they should come up with another solution besides, I mean, to me, Varys insinuated that he is going to have Dany assassinated. Like when Tyrion said, you know, what is the solution? And Varys said, essentially, don't make me answer that question. Like, that's your solution, dude?
If he's gonna... Okay, Varys plotting to assassinate Dany, good luck with that. But if he's going to frame Tyrion for it, that's when I have an issue. Sis, that's what I'm worried about.
Think about that.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Sis says, they all hating on Dany, who wouldn't react like
Who wouldn't react like that?
Yeah.
Cersei played them all. She killed Rhaegal. She killed Missandei.
I would also burn her
out King's Landing. Yeah, that's what I would do. I mean...
Is now the time to enact a democracy in King's Landing? Like, hey guys, before you die, do you just want to do a quick vote? Quick vote for who's going to be your queen?
Dany, fly into King's Landing under cover of darkness when the scorpions can't see you, go straight to the Red Keep and just roast it. Just burn it to the ground. That's what I say. I mean, I would also like to point out that I don't think anybody has given us a satisfactory answer as to why Cersei did not just kill them all when they were standing right outside, outside her gate.
Or why Missandei didn't just push her off the ledge.
There are a lot of things that I think could have gone differently in this episode.
Here's a cool theory. Phino says, I think Daenerys is pregnant. Watch the first scene of the 5th episode preview. I did see that. I mean, she's down 2 babies, so maybe it's time to give her another one.
What do we think? Speaking of pregnancies, what do you think about Cersei's pregnancy at this point?
Goodness gracious, I don't care. I wasn't anticipating to say that, but at this point, like, I don't care about Cersei's pregnancy. I think it's because for the longest time, you and I didn't even believe that it happened. And
I still don't believe it.
And then for Tyrion to be like, I'm sorry about your baby. Like, please think of the baby. And then Euron's over there just like with his maniacal grin, like, I'm so excited to actually be included.
He was kind of out of focus in the background of that scene.
Yeah.
To me, the one thing that doesn't track about that to me is that look at the number of people who have like gone north to King's Landing and then come back down. That is a long journey, or gone north to Winterfell from King's Landing. That's a long journey. Cersei should at least be a couple of months pregnant at this point.
Yes.
So to me, she's either lying or she's planning to kill Euron before, if she has a baby 7 months.
Or her dress is just loose because, Gilly's preggers and nobody knew until Jon hugged her.
Right. I liked that moment. That was a cute moment.
I thought it was really sweet. I didn't need Sam having to explain why they were pregnant, but that's Sam.
The other thing about Cersei's pregnancy is I wish we had gotten a Euron reaction shot when Tyrion was trying to play that card against Cersei.
Yeah.
Because Cersei just told Euron about it.
Yeah.
Tyrion is the enemy.
Cersei didn't even tell Euron about it. Cersei just let Euron be with her. And then Euron's the one that says, I'm going to put a prince in your belly.
Well, but Cersei said this episode.
True.
Yeah, she said this episode, our child. So she's definitely using it to play against Euron. And how would Tyrion know about this?
I don't think Euron's smart enough to put the 2 and 2 together.
I don't think the writing is smart enough.
I just think that Euron is just so excited to be included. Another thing that I want to point out is the fact that I want Clegane Bowl.
Yeah, to me, it's maybe the only thing I am looking forward to still in this show, because to me, what the series was really about, died last episode, and I've ranted about this a lot, but to me, it was always about this supernatural force of nature threat bearing down on humanity. We have to put our squabbles aside. We have to band together, and that is the theme of the series. Yeah. And instead, they dispatched that, and now we're back to the battle for the most uncomfortable seat in the world, and I don't care about that.
Here's the one question that I'm going to leave you with and leave the fans with. Who will kill Cersei if she dies? Because we now have 3 contenders. We have Jaime heading back to King's Landing. We have Arya, and she's still the number 1 on her list. And we have Dany, because she's about to go full Mad Queen, or so it seems.
Yeah.
Which person who do you think will kill, and who do you wish would kill?
Yeah, those are good questions, because as far as I'm done making predictions about this show. I have no idea. I hope that it is Jaime, because they left that when he left Brienne, they left it ambiguous.
Had Arya not killed the Night King, I would have said, I hope it's Arya. But because she got to have that moment, I feel like she doesn't get to also kill Cersei. I feel like it's going to end up being Tyrion?
Yeah, it could be it could be a lot of people. I hope it's somebody I hope it is more narratively fulfilling than Arya killing the Night King, which was a surprise, but I would argue not earned. I want to bring up what Tin says. Davos is the only woke one. He's the only one to bring up the Lord of Light, the one that orchestrated all of this. I fully agree.
Yeah.
To me, the Red Faith, R'hllor and the Lord of Light and the Prince that was promised is just a story thread that has been dropped as far as I can tell. I wouldn't be surprised if they never bring that up again in the show.
I mean, are there no other disciples? I think the Hound was still a disciple of Lord of Light.
So this is actually my big theory for Clegane Bowl that I said I was done making predictions, but this is the one again.
And yet here we go.
Clegane Bowl is the one thing that I care about still, and I think the Hound, fully embracing the faith of the Lord of Light.
Yes.
To him would embody. Getting over his cynicism,
I was going to say his fear of fire,
and his fear of fire because he does the fire sword, and because Gregor, his brother, burned his face with fire when they were kids. So it's a lot of narrative things kind of coming full circle.
Yeah.
So I do hope that happens.
I hope a lot of things happen, but I cannot believe that we only have 2 episodes left. I think we're going to end it there.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Be sure to join us for Theories and Thrones every Monday morning at 8 a.m. West Coast and 11 a.m. East Coast for the next 2 episodes.
I can't believe it, but next week we're going to be breaking down the penultimate episode. That is the second to last episode of Game of Thrones ever. And as always, we're going to include your comments, your thoughts, your theories about the final 2 episodes.
Plus, you can always tweet us your thoughts anytime. Tell us who you think is going to kill Cersei. We would love to know. Maybe we'll do a poll and we'll include it next time.
And I'm still waiting for somebody to explain to me why Cersei didn't just roast them all at the end.
Very
so
true.
Please
Very
hit me with
true.
that.
Talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.